Hi, I'm Laurie Beshore, pastor of local and global outreach at Mariners Church in Irvine, California. We've been celebrating recently the finishing of our campus and the ending of 10 straight years of capital campaigns. And while we were celebrating that, we came to realize something that was pretty significant, that over the same 10 years that our church had invested in ministry to our community and those around the world over $27 million, which staggered us because this is over and above the capital campaign, and it's over and above the church budget. How did God create such generous givers and people who had a heart to serve? And so as we looked back, I realized that God had done a fundamental shift in us a few years ago. Because when we began these ministries, we were very focused on the community, the impact that we could have in the community, what we could actually do and how it would change their lives, both locally and around the world. And we were doing great, but we hit a plateau, and we couldn't seem to grow it beyond that anymore, beyond that level. And so we started focusing more on the impact that the serving was having on our own volunteers, on the people of Mariners. We started talking about the life change that we thought God wanted to do in their lives. So we did several things. One is we developed a funnel that has many levels of opportunities and commitments. So the wide end of the funnel, anybody can do, no training needed, safe, easy, fun opportunities, on down to very long-term committed ministry, such as mentoring, and many doors and windows of opportunity coming in at all those things. But we started talking about ministry, these serving things, as not an event, not a program, but that God was really trying to do something much more significant in all of us, that this was a journey we were all on, that serving is actually more of a lifestyle, is what God had in mind. And we started talking about things like doing ministry with instead of ministry to, that every person that we served had something to teach us also, and that there's many different kinds of poverty, and that we are all poor and broken in some way. And so we had a lot in common with those that we were serving. Ministry became much more relational. We also started talking about being as opposed to just doing. That it really was about what God, while God was wanting to do something in the lives of the poor and the orphans and the people we were serving, He cared just as much that our heart was changing. And we started talking about how God had shaped and molded all of us, not just giving us gifts and talents or education that could be used for His purpose, but that He used our experiences, even our own wounds and brokenness, to come alongside and encourage someone else, to build a bridge to someone else. So we started being much more intentional about orientations and debriefs, because you look at a special event and you say, that's just a few hours. How is it going to change anybody's life? It's just the nature of it is not going to do something significant. But we found that the more we focused people in the conversation about what is it that God is doing in your life, that He has you here for a purpose, and it's not just what you're doing to or for someone else. What is God doing in your life, and what does He want to teach you about Himself or about how He's made you? And so we did a lot of orientations and debriefs that began with our volunteers holding their hands out open and praying Elijah's prayer. Lord, speak, your servant is listening. And then at the end, we would spend time in conversation. So what did you think God showed you? How does this change your life? How does it change your heart? What will you take home, with you? And began challenging to a service as a lifestyle. And the true test, I think, came this last fall. We had over 4,000 people involved in some aspect of service. And the test came when we had junior hires passing out boxes of food in groups and homes. And we sat down with them, and we were amazed that it changed their heart, that they could articulate what God said to them, that they saw themselves as different people with a whole different sense of purpose in their life. Because we all know that when people's hearts are aligned with God's purposes and His mission, their lifestyle, their attitude, and their giving all change.